follow us on Facebook at Power365FM, Instagram at Power365_FM. Power 365 Radio, your number one online Southwest radio.
Don't turn off your radio. You are listening to Power FM. This is 365 Power FM. Don't turn off your radio. You are listening to Power FM. This is 365 Power FM.
Alright, good morning there, listeners out there. You're welcome to yet another interesting edition of Newspaper Review, coming to you live from your number one online radio in Ibadan and in the Southwest. Alright, my name is Olamide Adeniji, and I'll be bringing you news headlines from the Daily Independent. And okay, so let me start with this story, with this headline, which says presidential speech: purported 573 billion naira disbursement to states predates Tinubu's government. Dangote refinery supplies will disrupt Europe's oil gas industry. OPEC. End bad governance protest. Condemnation trails raid on NLC secretariat by security operatives. It also has some riders. Amnesty International says attack on civic space to intimidate union. Action attack on rights of Nigerians, threat to democracy. That's TUC. And DSS is saying we did not carry out any operation at NLC secretariat. Aricare resumes services 8 days after operations were grounded. Lagos explosion not linked to NGML NIPCO CNG stations NNPC. 20 die as cargo boat explodes, sinks in Bayelsa waterways. Tinubu government adopt propaganda misinformation as state policy. That's coming from article. Court restrains PDP Damagun from conducting Congress in Benue. Tinubu directs security agencies to crack down on illegal miners. And then there's a story against CBN boosts forex market with $876 million, commits to provide liquidity. Governor Mba begins distribution of 4.6 billion naira worth of agro input to MSMEs. ADC chairman to Tinubu, listen to Nigerians, address economic hardship now. Kogi PDP leaders demand the solution of caretaker committee. Reduce ministries, aids, cut costs of governance. Daily Momodu tells Tinubu. End bad governance. Your recent appeal to is adding salt to injury. PDP chieftain tells Tinubu. Okay, so this one is also saying Glow LASG unveils Agric initiative to drive food sufficiency, farmer empowerment. And then this is also saying Plateau Governor Mutfwang relaxes curfew on just Bukuru metropolis. Customs nets 187.71 billion naira at PTML command. Dogua accuses Jibrin of involvement in 2019 political violence. Nigeria Air Force destroys terrorist IED factory in Borno. Lautek announces new deputy vice chancellors. Kogi senator disburses 100 million naira scholarships to constituents. Tinubu government adopting propaganda misinformation as state policy. That's coming from article. Court restrains PDP. Okay, I read that to you earlier, right? 9 Mobile appoints Adidiji as Chief Technical Information Officer. Lagos explosion not linked to NGML NIPCO CNG stations. 20 die. Okay. Let's go to the Metro page. Edo community sends SOS to Obaseki over Greek firms' alleged forceful takeover of land. 6 children die of suspected food poisoning in Nasarawa. Bauchi governor's security arises, threatens to deal with journalists. Okay. 4 pastors abducted in Rivers regain freedom after 5 days in captivity. And then ITU expresses concerns over Nigeria's multiple regulations in digital space. Let's see, Oyebanjo restates commitment to conducive environment for investors in Ekiti. Federal government approves 110 billion naira for youth-based businesses. Lagos State targets 200,000 jobs from new coconut project. Poultry farmers eye maize importation to reduce production cost. Africa-US investment summit to hold in September. Okay, and then there's this very interesting article. The agribusiness page of the Daily Independent says how to make money from Zobo drink production. Okay, you may pick a copy of the Daily Independent to read this. I guess it will be very useful to those in that line of business. Away from there, let's go to the travel and leisure page. Tinubu endorses Ipada initiative. commends Akimbo Boye's dedication to Nigeria African tourism. UNESCO applies emergency procedure, names Gaza site World Heritage and endangered lists. Germany, 2 dead, several rescued after hotel collapse. And then let's see. Okay, this is also saying Abiodun abolishes recruitment fees, directs refund to applicants. Banditry, Tet Fund researchers task Tinubu governors on rehabilitation resettlement of victims. For FXTM set for ultimate financial trading seminar. Edo community sends SOS to Obaseki over alleged takeover of land. Riverine Infrastructure Ministry creation Ijo endorsement for Oborowori 2027. And this is also saying brain builders train polytechnic students on fact-checking digital rights. Soludo salutes ex-governor Obiano on his 69th birthday. Court jails 59 internet fraudsters in Oyo, Ogun, Oshogbo. And this is saying Governor Otu lifts embargo on employment, approves interventions in infrastructure, education, others. Abia government committed to peaceful resolution of all boundary disputes. NNPCL launches Utapati crude oil grade. And then this is saying over 25,000 IDPs in Benue access free medical services, referrals in 3 months. UBA partners MBA Young Lawyers Forum. Bauchi government signs $1.5 billion MOU with cement company for new plant. Kwankwaso Olayoku Olopoyan Ajadi others mourn ex-Gov Ogun NNPP chairman. No rift between Abbas Kalu reps. Governor Mohammed slams federal government over hunger poverty. And this is also saying, let's go to the sports page. Brume others fail to win medal for Team Nigeria in long jump. Olympics, how Nigeria crashed out of 4 by 100 meters despite season best runs. Dimeji Lawal tasks NFF on quick appointment of Super Eagles coach. San urges national honors for the Tigress. And this is saying NFF considering Nduka Ugbade as Flying Eagles coach. FIFA lifts transfer ban on Katsina United. Arteta remains remains coy on future of Nketiah Ramsdale. Liverpool interested in Sociedad's Zubimendi. Man City target replacement as Alvarez exit looks likely. And this is saying Man United to keep Old Trafford if they build new stadium. Bayern willing to sell Alphonso Davies this summer. Alright, these are stories that are on the pages of the newspaper today. Okay, let's go to daily. Let's leave Daily Independent. Let's go to other dailies, and I'll start with this. I'll go to Daily Times. Daily Times is also has some information like that of Daily Independent. Okay, let's see. Tinubu's reforms aimed at addressing past mistakes. That's coming from the Information Minister. That's on the front page of the Daily Times. And this is saying CBN adopts retail Dutch auction to boost liquidity. Federal government cautions against foreign interference in protests. And protests, global rights lampoons federal government over alleged human rights violations, abuses. Defense minister urges ECOWAS defense chiefs to tackle security challenges. Oil industry probe. We are not saboteurs. NNPCL, NMDPRA, others tell Senate. We got 60% of our crude supply from NNPC Dangote refinery. Confusion in court as two lawyers appear in suit seeking Rivers expenditure shut down. Okay, just a minute. Organized labor firms demands probe on invasion of NLC headquarters. AI, a tool to resolve Nigeria's out-of-school children crisis, or Obasanjo. Federal government holds groundbreaking for 216 fish housing units at PSIN. And this is saying gas development will lead to Nigeria's prosperity, lower cost of living. ECPO. Nigerian army busts massive illegal oil dumps in Bayelsa rivers. Mineral resources exploration must prioritize health safety of Nigerians. That's Tinubu. And Nigerian army busts massive illegal. Yeah, I read that to you earlier. Manufacturer starts CBN on unsettled forex forward. And then this is also on page 4 of the, it's actually a full page story. Invasion of NLC headquarters, organized labor firms demands probe. We demand immediate withdrawal of security agents from our premises, return of all books, materials taken during the raid. NLC. Those responsible for authorizing, executing the invasion must be held accountable, says TUC. We did not carry out any operation at NLC office DSS. Okay. And OPEC says Dangote refinery diesels, jet fuel supplies to disrupt Europe's oil and gas industry. It's a big plus to Nigeria's economy. Ministers seek unified effort to drive economic growth through power sector. We arrest average of 50 street traders daily. Lagos State government. Aricare resumes flight operations. I read that to you earlier on Daily Independent newspaper. Looting and trafficking of cultural heritage in Nigeria. Federal government holds groundbreaking for 216 fish housing units at PSIN. Kwara Polytechnic Farm yields 25 tons of maize in first phase experiment. Plateau government further relaxes 24-hour curfew on Jos Buruku Metropolis. That was read to you earlier on Daily Independent. Ebonyi government to pay 1.3 billion naira to youths for shunning nationwide protest. Wow. Gas development will lead to Nigeria's prosperity, lower cost of living. ECPO. And then this is saying murder charge. Court refuses bail to former Governor Ayade's aide. NEMA tasks Enugu communities on building flood prevention resilience action plans. Delta government begins rebuilding health center schools in Okwama. Ekiti governor's wife commends Bureau of Tourism development stand at Eki Fest. Oro Festival, 4-year urges female students, staff to stay indoors. And this is saying Bauchi governor's security aides threaten journalists for reporting harassment of PWD. Okay, that was seen on Daily Independent as well. Bayelsa Governor Diri sad over both mishap. Group condemns attack, killing of soldier in Ebonyi military base. Katsina government clears air on 15.4 billion naira received from World Bank. 20 die as cargo boats explode, sinks in Bayelsa waterways. NAF, that's Nigerian Air Force, destroys Boko Haram IED factory in Borno. I also read that to you earlier on Daily Independent. Still on Daily Times, Katsina government declares air on 15.4 billion naira received from World Bank. Yunus sworn in as interim Bangladesh leader. That's on the global news. Kenya police tear gas protesters as cabinet sworn in. And this is saying Russia must feel war consequences, says Zelensky amid Ukraine attack. Our unified unfulfilled $2.4 billion FX contracts is pushing manufacturers to the brink of collapse. And then Wema Bank partners Ekiti government to empower 100 MSMEs. Kwankwaso, okay, I read this to you too earlier. Kwankwaso Olayoku Olokpenyan Ajadi orders Mon ex-NNPP caretaker chairman. Bayelsa government urges federal government to establish gas terminal, restart brass fertilizer plant project. MPC will serve as regulatory body to ensure standards are upheld in institutions. All your partnership with IITA, laudable, that's coming from Governor Seyi Makinde, will make Ekiti's creative industry economically profitable. That's coming from Governor Ibanji. Governor Idris commends Tosi Foundation for improving living condition of 1,000 households in Kebbi. And on the transportation page of the Daily Times, FRSC to launch app for highway crash prevention. HR committee calls for increased recruitment of female locomotive drivers at NRC. Last mile FRSC strengthening alliance to improve traffic management in Lagos. Linking the dots between local government autonomy and primary healthcare delivery. That's on the feature page of the Daily Times. Now let's go to the sports page of the Daily Times. Morocco sweeps aside Egypt in 6-0 to win 2024 Paris bronze. Tebogo wins stunning 200 meters as COVID hit Laos denied. And then this is also saying McLaughlin Levron wins Odo's gold in world record. Thompson leads Olympic heptathlon. Well, I don't know what that means. Jones loses in first round and Sinden misses out on medal. And this is saying Tottenham striker Richarlison rejects move to Saudi. Portugal defender Pep, 41, announces retirement. So these are stories, major stories on Daily Times and Daily Independent. All right, let me quickly take you to Daily Independent newspaper, where I'll just read one or two stories from the Daily Independent for you, for your listening pleasure. And don't forget, you may grab a copy of these newspapers in earnest to enjoy the stories or the major headlines that I've brought to your attention. Now let's go to the first story, the major story with the major headline on the Daily Independent, which is also on virtually all the newspapers. Condemnation trails raid of NLC secretariat by security operatives. And that's on page 1 of the Daily Independent. Issa Sanusi, the country director, Amnesty International, on Thursday condemned the invasion of the headquarters of the Nigeria Labour Congress in Abuja on Wednesday. The raid, which occurred on Wednesday night, was described as a sinister and calculated attack designed to intimidate the labor union. In a statement, Amnesty International strongly and security personnel. The chief lead as part of a sinister attack designed to intimidate the labor union. That's on page 1 of the Daily Independent. All right, away from there, let's look at the still on page 1 presidential speech. Purported 573 billion naira disbursement to states predates Tinubu's government. The 573 billion purportedly released to states by President Bola Tinubu announced during his nationwide broadcast last Sunday was a World Bank funded program to mitigate the impact of the COVID-19 pandemic. The funds also predates the current administration, even though the president said during the broadcast that the over 570 billion naira had been released to the 36 subnational governments to expand livelihood support to vulnerable citizens. All right, that's on page 1, and there's this response by the governor of Oyo State to this purported 573 billion naira disbursement. Dangote refinery supplies will disrupt Europe's oil and gas industry. OPEC, the Organization of Petroleum Exporting Countries, OPEC, has said supplies from Nigeria-based world's largest single-train Dangote refinery and petrochemicals will put pressure on the performance of Europe's oil industry, especially the Northwest Europe gas oil. Okay, you may pick a copy of the Daily Independent to read this. So lastly, let me bring you this story. Tinubu directs security agencies to crack down on illegal miners. President Bola Ahmed Tinubu has directed security agencies to intensify efforts to crack down on illegal miners across the country. He said his administration will ensure the companies engaged in mineral exploration prioritize the health and safety of Nigerians and the host communities. It's a long read today. Thank you for staying tuned. Don't forget you may grab a copy of Daily Independent and Daily Times to have full glare of the stories and the headlines that we brought to you this morning. My name is Olamide Adeniji and I'm your host for today. Stay tuned for the Yoruba version of newspaper review, which is Latin. So when next you hear from me, stay blessed. Goodbye.